A billionaire patient fakes a coma until his nurse's unexpected confession shakes him. Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It is quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support truly means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let us return to our main character. The sterile scent of antiseptic drifted through the quiet corridor of St. Jude Medical Center as the night shift settled into its steady rhythm. The overhead lights cast a soft glow on the polished floors, and the distant echo of rolling carts faded into the background. Deep inside the VIP wing, past 2 layers of restricted access, a single room remained dim, except for the soft pulse of a cardiac monitor. Inside that room lay Grant Ellis, the billionaire founder of Ellis Dynamics, a man once known for his fierce brilliance and uncompromising leadership. For months, he had been confined to this bed, completely still, his eyes closed, his body motionless. His reputation filled headlines, but here, under the white hospital sheets, he looked like nothing more than a fragile man held together by wires and quiet hope. Anna Rivera tightened her ponytail as she entered the room, gently closing the door behind her. She had been assigned to his case 3 weeks earlier, a task most nurses avoided. Complicated cases drained energy, time, and sometimes even spirit. But Anna did not flinch from difficulty. She had seen loneliness take many forms in hospitals, and she refused to let any patient, rich or poor, be treated as anything less than human. "Good evening, Mr. Ellis," she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. She always greeted him, even though he never answered. It was a promise she made to herself on her first day as a nurse. No patient would ever feel invisible. She checked the monitors with practiced ease, heart rate steady, oxygen level holding. Blood pressure dipped slightly but within predictable range. As she adjusted his IV line, she paused for a moment, studying his face in the dim light. Without the power suits, without the sharp eyes and commanding posture, he looked remarkably young, vulnerable, unprotected. Anna dipped a warm towel into a basin and began wiping his arms gently. Her motions were careful, respectful. She lifted his hand and spoke quietly as she worked. "It is another long night out there," she murmured. "Cold, windy, the kind of night that makes you want to stay inside with a warm blanket and a cup of hot chocolate." She chuckled softly to herself, shaking her head. "You must think I talk too much. Maybe I do. But someone once told me that people in comas can still hear things. I guess I want you to know that someone is here." She continued her routine, adjusting his pillows, smoothing the sheets, checking the IV pump again, and finally walking over to the small speaker she kept tucked near the window. She pressed play. A soft jazz melody filled the room. Piano notes drifted through the air with the warmth of an old memory. She had discovered that certain songs calmed the tension in his body, even if no one else noticed. It became part of the ritual she performed every night. As the music played, she sat beside him and opened her small notebook, jotting down observations. She always recorded more details than required, tiny twitches, faint shifts in breathing, anything that hinted at life stirring beneath the stillness. Her eyes softened. "You know, I do not think you are done fighting. Something tells me you are still in there." A faint gust of wind rattled the window. The monitor beeped in a slow, steady rhythm. Anna closed her notebook and leaned back, letting the music fill the silence. Outside the room, the hospital continued its endless pulse of footsteps, machines, and whispered conversations. But inside, time felt slower, tender, human. Anna stood to check his temperature one last time. The towel slipped slightly from her hand and brushed against his fingers. She reached to adjust it and froze. For a moment, she thought she imagined it, but then she saw it again. A tiny movement, the faintest twitch of his index finger. Her breath caught in her chest. "Mr. Ellis?" The monitor remained steady, revealing nothing. The room stayed still. Anna leaned forward, eyes wide, heart pounding. "Mr. Ellis, Did you just move? Silence. She waited, unsure if she should call the doctor or trust her instincts. After all, she had spent countless hours at this bedside. She knew every sound, every rhythm, every shift in his body, and she was certain she had seen something. But when the moment passed without another sign, she exhaled slowly, unsure whether she had witnessed a miracle or her own exhaustion playing tricks on her. Yet deep inside her chest, a spark flickered. Something was changing, something was coming, and she could feel it. The next few days passed in a quiet rhythm, the kind of slow repetition that made hospital nights blur into one another. But something had changed for Anna Rivera. Ever since she saw Grant Ellis' finger twitch, a feeling lingered in her chest, a mixture of hope and fear. She replayed the moment over and over, wondering if she had truly witnessed it or if exhaustion had colored her senses. Each night, she entered his room with a deeper awareness, watching closely for any sign of movement. She checked the machines, the temperature, the IV pumps, and then resumed their routine. Warm towels, soft jazz, gentle conversation. But now, every detail felt heightened. Every breath he took, every shift in the air around his body, every flicker on the monitor seemed to mean more than before. "Mr. Ellis," she whispered one evening as she adjusted his blanket, "if you can hear me, I hope you know you are not alone here." She paused, then let a small smile form. "I know that sounds silly, but I made it my mission to talk to my patients, even the quiet ones." The lights in the room dimmed as the automatic night cycle began. Anna pulled up a chair and continued her nightly ritual of speaking to him as if he could respond. "My mother always told me that people need to be spoken to, even when they cannot answer," she said softly. She believed the heart listens in ways the mind cannot explain. She brushed a strand of hair behind her ear, feeling the weight of the day settle on her shoulders. "Maybe that is why I became a nurse. I wanted to be the kind of person who does not walk away when things get difficult." She leaned her elbows on her knees, thinking for a long moment before she spoke again. "Do you want to know something funny?" she whispered. "Before they assigned me to you, the other nurses warned me that this room would drain me. They said caring for a billionaire in a coma would break my spirit, but instead, you make me feel calm." Her voice trembled slightly. "Maybe it is because you cannot judge me. Maybe it is because, for once, I can talk freely." She looked at his face, the stillness of it, the peace that almost seemed unreal. "I do not know what you were like before this. The world says you were brilliant and impossible at the same time, but here, you just look like someone who needs kindness." She placed her hand gently over his. "And I can do that. I can give you kindness." For a moment, the only sound was the soft jazz drifting from the speaker. The piano notes echoed like a quiet lullaby. Anna began humming along, unaware that Grant's heart rate had subtly increased by a few beats. She stood to check the monitor more closely. Her eyes scanned the numbers, and her pulse quickened. "That is a little higher than usual," she whispered. "Are you trying to tell me something?" Again, silence. Again, stillness. But Anna felt it. She felt the shift in the room, the warmth that seemed to come from nowhere, the faint sensation that the man lying before her was beginning to stir from the depths of his unconscious world. Later that night, as she wiped down the counters and prepared to leave, she stopped at the door and glanced back one more time. The outline of his figure under the blankets, the glow of the monitor, and the soft light above his bed formed a picture she had grown strangely attached to. "Good night, Mr. Ellis," she whispered. "I will see you tomorrow." She pulled the door closed behind her. As soon as the latch clicked, the room fell into near total silence. The music had ended. Only the slow beep of the monitor filled the air. A minute passed, then another, and then, almost imperceptibly, Grant Ellis' eyelids fluttered. His fingers shifted beneath the blanket. A faint, weak breath escaped his lips, breaking the months-long stillness. On the other side of the door, unaware of what had just occurred, Anna walked down the hallway, her footsteps echoing softly through the quiet night wing. She pressed her clipboard to her chest, still thinking about the small movement she believed she had imagined days earlier. She did not know that tonight, everything had truly changed. And when she returned for her next shift, the first thing she would see would not be a motionless man in a hospital bed. It would be the beginning of a miracle. When Ana Rivera returned for her next shift, she felt unusually light on her feet, as if some quiet force had been pulling her back toward room 517 the entire morning. She tried to calm herself, telling her heart that she was only imagining things, that her mind was creating hope where none existed. But the memory of that tiny twitch refused to leave her thoughts. She sanitized her hands, signed the chart, and gently pushed open the door. The moment she stepped inside, she stopped breathing. Grant Ellis was not lying exactly as she had left him. His head had shifted slightly to the side, just enough that the shadow cast by the lamp had moved across his cheek. The blanket had a faint crease near his left hand, as if his fingers had pressed against the fabric. Anna's pulse raced. "Good morning, Mr. Ellis," she whispered, her voice trembling. Are you waking up?" She approached slowly, afraid that even the sound of her footsteps might disturb whatever fragile miracle was happening. She checked the monitor first. His heart rate was a little higher than usual, steady but unmistakably stronger. Her breath quivered. "You are fighting your way back, aren't you?" She reached for his wrist to check his pulse manually. The moment her fingers touched his skin, his eyelids twitched again. She drew in a sharp breath. "Grant, can you hear me?" The monitor beeped in a quickened rhythm, as if answering on his behalf. Anna leaned closer, her voice barely audible. "If you can hear me, you are safe. You are in the hospital. You have been here for months, but we have been taking good care of you." She hesitated before continuing. "I have been talking to you every night. I hope that was all right." For a moment, the room stayed silent, wrapped in soft white light. But then, his fingers curled faintly, just enough for her to see it. Anna covered her mouth with her hand, tears stinging her eyes. "You are waking up," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Oh my goodness. You really are." She stepped back and pressed the call button. A soft tone sounded down the hallway, signaling the attending physician. While waiting, she turned back to Grant and brushed his hair lightly from his forehead. "You have no idea how happy this makes me," she said softly. "I knew you were still in there." The door opened, and Dr. Harrison entered, adjusting his glasses. "Nurse Rivera, you called?" Anna pointed at the bed. "Doctor, I believe Mr. Ellis is regaining consciousness. His vitals have improved, and I saw movement." Dr. Harrison approached the bedside, examining the monitors with a practiced eye. "Heart rate is elevated. Oxygen saturation is improving. Interesting." He leaned closer to Grant's face, tapping near the temple. "Mr. Ellis, can you hear me? If you can hear my voice, try to move your fingers." Anna held her breath. A few seconds passed. Then Grant's index finger slowly bent again. Dr. Harrison exhaled in disbelief. "Well, I will be. This is significant progress. We may be witnessing the beginning of emergence." Anna felt warmth rush through her chest. "Keep monitoring him closely," the doctor said. "If he continues to respond, we will run neurological tests. For now, stay with him. Talk to him. Your presence seems to help." When the doctor left, the room quieted once more, returning to its soft rhythm of beeping and gentle air circulation. Anna sat beside him, her voice steady but full of emotion. "Grant, you are coming back. I knew you were stronger than the world thought." She took his hand in both of hers. "You keep fighting, and I will stay right here with you." Outside the window, the morning sun finally broke through the gray sky, spilling warm light into the room. Inside, for the first time in months, hope was no longer a distant thought. It was happening. By the following morning, the entire VIP wing felt different. Word had begun to spread quietly among the staff that the long, silent billionaire in room 517 was beginning to stir. Nurses exchanged cautious glances, Doctors whispered at the station, and even the security team maintained an unusual presence near the entrance. But no one felt the shift more deeply than Ana Rivera. She walked toward his room with careful steps, carrying a tray with warm water, fresh linens, and the speaker she always used for his nightly music. When she pushed open the door, she found Grant Ellis lying almost exactly as she had left him, but his breathing had a new rhythm, stronger and more deliberate. "Good morning, Grant," she said softly, allowing herself to say his name out loud for the very first time. "I hope you had a good night. We have a lot to try today." She set the tray beside him and began her routine with deliberate gentleness. She checked his vital signs first. His heart rate remained steady, slightly elevated but stable. His oxygen levels were stronger than they had been in months. She noted everything carefully on the chart. Then, she moved closer to his face. "Grant, if you can hear me, I want you to know that you are safe. You are doing so well." As she adjusted the pillow behind his neck, she felt a faint tension around his jaw. She froze, eyes widening. "Grant, was that you trying to move?" His eyelids fluttered, as if answering her. Her breath caught. "You are so close. I know you are trying." She reached for his hand, holding it between both of hers. His fingers were warm, and when she brushed her thumb along his knuckles, she felt a subtle shift in his grip. "Dr. Harrison will be here soon," she whispered. "He wants to run neurological tests. But I will be right here with you." She sat down beside him, taking a moment to let her heart steady. She wanted to tell him everything she had held in her chest throughout the long nights of watching over him. But she also knew he needed calm, clarity, and reassurance. So she leaned closer, letting her voice fall to a gentle murmur. "You have been through so much," she said. "I do not know what happened the night of your accident, but something tells me there is more to your story, and whatever truth you wake up to, you will not face it alone." The monitor beeped a little faster. Before she could say another word, the door opened, and Dr. Harrison stepped inside with a tablet in hand. "Nurse Rivera, let us begin our assessment." Ana stood at once, keeping Grant's hand close to her side. The doctor approached the bedside, his tone measured and professional. "Mr. Ellis, my name is Dr. Harrison. If you can hear me, try to blink." Ana held her breath. Grant's eyelids moved. Once, twice. Slowly, but unmistakably. Dr. Harrison straightened in surprise, then nodded. "Excellent. That is a voluntary response." He lifted the blanket near Grant's legs. "Now, Mr. Ellis, if you can, try to move your right foot." A few seconds passed. Then, a faint shift. Ana felt tears prick her eyes again. "You are incredible," she whispered. The doctor made notes quickly. "We are seeing clear signs of emerging consciousness. Motor responses, eye movement. This is very promising." He looked at Ana. "Stay with him. Keep talking. He seems to respond particularly well to your voice." When the doctor left, Ana returned to her seat. She took Grant's hand again, her heart full and trembling. "You hear me, do you not?" she said softly. "You really do." Her thumb brushed his hand, and this time his fingers curled around hers with intention, weak but undeniable. Ana gasped. "Grant, you are coming back." The monitor beeped a little faster again. Sunlight filtered into the room, casting a warm glow over both of them. For the first time since his admission, the man the world thought was lost was reaching out, and Ana was right there, ready to guide him home. By the following morning, the entire VIP wing felt different. Word had begun to spread quietly among the staff that the long, silent billionaire in room 517 was beginning to stir. Nurses exchanged cautious glances, doctors whispered at the station, and even the security team maintained an unusual presence near the entrance. But no one felt the shift more deeply than Ana Rivera. She walked toward his room with careful steps, carrying a tray with warm water, fresh linens, and the speaker she always used for his nightly music. When she pushed open the door, She found Grant Ellis lying almost exactly as she had left him, but his breathing had a new rhythm, stronger and more deliberate. "Good morning, Grant," she said softly, allowing herself to say his name out loud for the very first time. "I hope you had a good night. We have a lot to try today." She set the tray beside him and began her routine with deliberate gentleness. She checked his vital signs first. His heart rate remained steady, slightly elevated but stable. His oxygen levels were stronger than they had been in months. She noted everything carefully on the chart. Then she moved closer to his face. "Grant, if you can hear me, I want you to know that you are safe. You are doing so well." As she adjusted the pillow behind his neck, she felt a faint tension around his jaw. She froze, eyes widening. "Grant, was that you trying to move?" His eyelids fluttered as if answering her. Her breath caught. "You are so close. I know you are trying." She reached for his hand, holding it between both of hers. His fingers were warm, and when she brushed her thumb along his knuckles, she felt a subtle shift in his grip. "Dr. Harrison will be here soon," she whispered. "He wants to run neurological tests. But I will be right here with you." She sat down beside him, taking a moment to let her heart steady. She wanted to tell him everything she had held in her chest throughout the long nights of watching over him. But she also knew he needed calm, clarity, and reassurance. So she leaned closer, letting her voice fall to a gentle murmur. "You have been through so much," she said. "I do not know what happened the night of your accident, but something tells me there is more to your story, and whatever truth you wake up to, you will not face it alone." The monitor beeped a little faster. Before she could say another word, the door opened, and Dr. Harrison stepped inside with a tablet in hand. "Nurse Rivera, let us begin our assessment." Anna stood at once, keeping Grant's hand close to her side. The doctor approached the bedside, his tone measured and professional. "Mr. Ellis, my name is Dr. Harrison. If you can hear me, try to blink." Anna held her breath. Grant's eyelids moved. Once, twice, slowly, but unmistakably. Dr. Harrison straightened in surprise, then nodded. "Excellent. That is a voluntary response." He lifted the blanket near Grant's legs. "Now, Mr. Ellis, if you can, try to move your right foot." A few seconds passed, then a faint shift. Anna felt tears prick her eyes again. "You are incredible," she whispered. The doctor made notes quickly. "We are seeing clear signs of emerging consciousness, motor responses, eye movement. This is very promising." He looked at Anna. "Stay with him. Keep talking. He seems to respond particularly well to your voice." When the doctor left, Anna returned to her seat. She took Grant's hand again, her heart full and trembling. "You hear me, do you not?" she said softly. "You really do." Her thumb brushed his hand, and this time his fingers curled around hers with intention, weak but undeniable. Anna gasped. "Grant, you are coming back." The monitor beeped a little faster again. Sunlight filtered into the room, casting a warm glow over both of them. For the first time since his admission, the man the world thought was lost was reaching out. And Anna was right there, ready to guide him home. "Ban danoi. Viet fun 5 bam sat tailio contentmo 5, texti to 600 token. Hong Viet train canvas. Tiep noi fun 4. En ordong nut non vut va boy can. Twin toi jian sao cho fu herp. Ku ivan fong ki tuat viet tralai ket qua de lam noi dung. YouTube che kong fai bien tup ne dao dien. Noi dung kong duok viet tat kak tu ma, fai viet dai du, de voiceover I doc tot duok. Kao chuang ti fu da noi. Below is part 5, written to follow seamlessly after part 4. Tone and pacing mirror content MOU 5, text TT, to 600 tokens, consistent characters and timeline. Suitable for YouTube voiceover, no abbreviations. Helling romance, continuation. The next 48 hours unfolded like the quiet rise of a long-awaited sunrise. Grant Ellis responded more each day, small movements layered on top of one another like steps on a staircase leading back to the world. and Ana Rivera was there through every single moment, guiding him with patience and a gentleness that softened even the harsh glow of the hospital lights. On the third morning, she entered his room with a fresh cup of warm water, a new stack of towels, and her notebook already open. But today, she felt something different. The air inside the room felt charged, as if her patient was waiting for her. "Good morning, Grant," she said, letting the door click softly behind her. "I hope you are ready. We are going to try something important today." His eyelids fluttered at the sound of her voice. It was the clearest response yet. Ana moved closer, her heart thumping with anticipation. "Grant, can you try to look at me?" For a moment, his eyes trembled beneath his eyelids. Then, slowly, painfully, they opened a fraction of an inch. The world around him was blurry and bright, but when he struggled to focus, the first shape he recognized was the outline of Ana leaning over him. She gasped, one hand flying to her mouth. "Oh my gosh, Grant, you are waking up." His eyes opened a little wider, his breathing hitched. The muscles in his jaw tensed as if he were trying to speak, but no sound came out. Ana reached for his hand, squeezing gently. "Do not force your voice yet," she whispered. "Just focus on me. You are safe." A tear formed in the corner of his eye, sliding slowly down his temple. Ana brushed it away. "You are doing so well. I am so proud of you." His fingers twitched, curling weakly around hers. It was not strength, it was not control, but it was intention, and that was everything. She leaned closer. "Grant, blink once for yes, blink twice for no. Can you understand me?" He blinked once. Ana let out a shaky breath. "All right. Grant, do you know where you are?" A pause, then one blink. "You are in Street, Jude Medical Center," she explained. "You have been here for several months. You survived an accident, but you are safe now." His mouth shifted as if he was trying to form words, his lips barely parted. "Do not rush," she murmured. "Your body needs time." He blinked once again. Ana took his other hand, trying to keep her own emotions from spilling over. "Grant, I need you to know something. You have not been alone. I stayed with you through every night shift. I talked to you. I played your music. I believed you could hear me." His chest rose in a trembling breath. "And I knew," she added softly, "that you were still fighting." His gaze drifted toward the speaker she used each night. She understood immediately. She reached over and pressed play. Soft jazz filled the room once more, the same melody she played during the hardest nights. As the piano notes swelled, Grant's eyes glistened. His hand tightened weakly around hers. Ana smiled, her voice gentle and warm. "There you are. I knew this song would reach you." He blinked once, slow and deliberate, as if saying, "Thank you." The monitor beeped a little faster, not out of distress, but out of recognition, out of life returning. Ana leaned closer, lowering her forehead to the side of his hand. "You are not alone anymore, Grant. I am right here." For the first time since the accident, his lips shifted in the faintest, weakest suggestion of a smile. It was small, it was fragile, but it was real, and it was only the beginning. The following days marked a turning point in Grant Ellis' recovery. His eyes stayed open longer, his grip grew slightly stronger. His breathing steadied into something more deliberate, something undeniably alive. Every hour brought a new sign that he was returning to himself, slowly but unmistakably. Ana Rivera felt it every time she stepped into room 517. There was no longer the same stillness that had once filled the air like a blanket of silence. Now there was presence. Now there was awareness. Now there was Grant. On the fourth morning, she entered with her usual tray of supplies and found him already awake. His eyes followed the shape of the door as it opened. When they landed on her, they softened, almost as if he had been waiting. "Good morning, Grant," she said, her voice warm with surprise. "You are awake early today." His right hand moved slightly on the blanket, a faint attempt to lift it. Ana stepped to his bedside at once. "Take it slow," she whispered. "Your muscles are still adjusting." She checked his vitals, then studied his expression closely. His eyes were clearer than the day before, They held something new, something searching. "Grant," she said gently, "I want to ask you a few more questions today, if you feel ready. Blink once for yes, twice for no. All right?" He blinked once. She smiled. "That is great. Let us start with something simple. Do you feel any pain?" A slow blink. Twice. "No pain," she repeated. "That is good news." She took a breath, steadying her heart before she continued. "Grant, do you remember what happened the night of your accident?" He blinked. Once, hesitant, strained, then twice. "No. It is all right," she said quickly, touching his arm reassuringly. "Memory can take time to return. We will figure things out together." His eyes drifted to her hand on his arm, and for a moment, she wondered what it felt like from his perspective. Waking up in a hospital with a stranger's voice, becoming the anchor he clung to. She wondered how much he had heard in all the nights she had spoken to him. She wondered which words reached him, which memories wrapped around him like threads guiding him back to consciousness. Then she decided to give him something familiar. "Would you like music?" she asked softly. One blink. She walked to the small speaker, selected the song he seemed to respond to best, and pressed play. The soft jazz melody filled the room just as it had on the night he first began to stir. As the first notes floated into the air, Grant's eyes fluttered with a quiet emotion she could not name. Anna pulled her chair closer to the bed and sat beside him. "Grant, can I tell you something?" she asked softly. "Something I never said before because I did not know if you could hear me." His gaze shifted slightly toward her. She swallowed and continued. "There were nights when I did not think I could keep going. Nights when this job felt overwhelming. But sitting here with you, talking to you, it made me feel like someone was listening. Even if you could not respond." His chest rose in a deeper breath, the sound catching faintly in his throat. She leaned closer. "And now that you are waking up, I want you to know that you mattered long before you opened your eyes." For the first time, a faint rasp escaped his lips, a sound like air brushing over dry stone. Anna leaned in, her heart pounding. "Grant, did you try to speak?" His eyes blinked once. "Yes." "Do not push yourself," she said, though her breath trembled. "Your vocal cords need time. Just let your body do what it can." He blinked again, slower this time. His eyes searched hers with a new intensity, one that made her chest tighten. She realized he understood her more than she expected, that he remembered her voice, her stories, her small confidences, whispered in the dark. She placed her hand gently over his. "You are safe. You are not alone." His fingers moved again, curling slightly as if trying to hold on to her. A knock on the door made her turn. Dr. Harrison entered with a tablet. "How is our patient this morning?" Anna answered with a smile she could not suppress, more alert than ever. The doctor checked the monitors, then examined Grant's eye movement. "Mr. Ellis, I want you to try something. If you can, follow my finger with your eyes." He moved his finger slowly from left to right. Grant's gaze followed, a fraction behind but steady. "Excellent," the doctor said. "This is remarkable progress." He turned to Anna. "He may be ready for speech rehabilitation soon. For now, continue your routine. He responds best to you." When the doctor left, the room felt smaller, quieter, more intimate. Anna turned back to Grant. "You heard him," she whispered. "You are getting stronger." He blinked once, long and deliberate. She felt her heart swell in her chest. "I will be here every step of the way." And for the first time since waking, Grant Ellis' lips parted just enough for a breathy, broken whisper to escape. "Stay." Anna froze, tears filling her eyes instantly. "I am right here, Grant," she whispered, taking his hand in both of hers. And she did not let go. Grant Ellis' whisper lingered in the room long after the sound faded. It was not loud. It was not clear. But it was real. It was the first true proof that the man who had been silent for months was fighting his way back into the world, and Anna Rivera felt the weight of that fragile word settle deeply in her heart. "Stay." It replayed in her mind over and over as she prepared him for the evening tests. She adjusted his pillow, checked his IV, and helped him practice small movements with his fingers. Each task felt different now. Every small action carried a new tenderness, a sense of connection she had not dared acknowledge before. "Grant," she said softly while she recorded his progress. "That word you said earlier, it means more to me than you know." His eyes followed her voice, focusing on her face with a clarity that grew a little stronger each hour. "You do not have to speak again right now," she continued, placing a light hand on his arm. "Just rest. Your body has come a very long way." He blinked once, slow and intentional. She smiled. "I will take that as understanding." As the evening settled over the hospital, the hallway outside quieted. The night shift nurses took their posts, and the hum of distant machines became the soundtrack of the building. Anna returned to Grant's room with a small cup of ice chips. "Let us try something," she said gently. "Dr. Harrison wants to see if you can tolerate this." She held a small spoon near his lips. His eyelids lowered with effort as he tried to focus on the movement. She touched the spoon to his mouth, letting the cold melt along his tongue. He swallowed with difficulty but succeeded. "That is good," she whispered. "You are doing wonderfully." He blinked once. She continued, a little at a time, letting him practice swallowing again. When she finished, she wiped his lips gently and set the cup aside. For a moment, she thought that fatigue might pull him back into sleep, but his eyes stayed open, watching her with an intensity that made her breath catch. "Grant," she said carefully, "can you try to speak again? Only if you feel ready?" His throat tightened, and his lips parted slightly, but no sound came out. He closed his eyes and exhaled a trembling breath. Frustrated. "Hey!" she whispered quickly, leaning forward. "Do not push yourself. Speech will come. It does not need to happen today." He blinked once, and Anna saw the faintest hint of relief in his expression. She placed her hand gently over his. "I am here. You do not need to rush." For a long moment, they stayed like that, surrounded by the heartbeat of the monitor and the soft, distant sounds of the hospital settling into the night. Then she felt his fingers shift beneath hers, weak but determined. He was trying to hold her hand. She threaded her fingers through his, giving him the support his grip lacked. His eyes softened, his breathing steadied, and for the first time since waking, he allowed himself to relax completely. "You are safe," Anna whispered, "and I am not going anywhere." Just then, a security alarm beeped faintly in the hallway. Someone passed the room briskly, talking in urgent tones. Anna looked toward the door, listening for a moment. The hospital was accustomed to emergencies, but something about the hurried footsteps felt unusual. She turned back to Grant, offering a small smile. "Do not worry. Everything is fine out there." But as she squeezed his hand gently, he blinked twice. "No." Her smile faded. "Grant, do you think something is wrong?" He blinked once. "Yes." Her heartbeat quickened. His eyes shifted toward the door, full of a fear that had nothing to do with his recovery. Anna leaned closer. "Grant, are you remembering something?" He blinked once. Her breath caught. "Is it about the night of your accident?" His eyelids trembled. Then he blinked once again. That was the moment Anna realized he had not only begun to wake up, he had begun to remember, and whatever he remembered terrified him. Anna Rivera felt her breath freeze inside her chest as she watched fear rise in Grant Ellis' eyes. His blinking was no longer random or exhausted. It carried intention. It carried emotion. It carried warning. "Grant," she whispered, leaning closer, "whatever you remembered, you can tell me." His fingers twitched weakly beneath hers, and for a moment, she thought he might try to speak again. His lips parted, trembling with effort, but only a faint rasp came out. His eyes flicked toward the door with urgency. "You are safe," she said, brushing her thumb along the back of his hand. "No one can hurt you here." But then he blinked twice. "No." Her heart skipped. "You believe you are still in danger?" He blinked once. "Yes." Her pulse quickened as she stood, instinct guiding her actions. She shut the blinds, drew the curtain, and dimmed the lights. Then she pulled her chair closer. "You have my full attention," she whispered. Grant swallowed, his throat straining. Then, with visible effort, he breathed out a fractured word. "Push." Anna leaned in. "Push? Someone pushed you?" His eyelids fluttered, then one slow blink. "Yes." Her chest tightened. "You remember falling?" Another blink. "Yes." "And someone was behind you?" One more blink. "Yes." The color drained from Anna's face as the pieces slid into place. Grant Ellis' accident had not been an accident at all. "But who?" she whispered. Grant tried to speak again. His lips shaped the start of a name, but the sound broke apart before it formed. He winced, frustrated, his breath growing shallow. "Do not force it," Anna said quickly. "We will get help." She pressed the call button, but before she could step away, Grant tightened his grip on her hand. His eyes locked onto hers with desperate intensity. "Stay," he whispered again, barely audible. "I am right here," she said. "I am not going anywhere." Within seconds, Dr. Harrison and a member of the security team entered. Anna explained. Grant's eye responses and the fragments of speech. The doctor listened carefully and nodded. "We will increase monitoring and restrict access to this wing immediately," he said. "Mr. Ellis, you are safe here. I promise you." Grant's gaze shifted between the doctor and the guard, but it returned to Anna, as if she were the only person he trusted. When the team left, Anna sat beside him again, taking his hand gently. "Grant, whoever hurt you will not get away with it. We will protect you. We will uncover the truth together." His breathing steadied, and with great effort, he blinked once. "Yes." She brought the speaker closer and turned on the soft jazz he loved. The familiar melody filled the room, washing over him like a warm tide. His eyelids lowered slightly, not in sleep, but in relief. "You fought your way back for a reason," Anna whispered, "and I am going to help you finish the fight." His fingers curled weakly around hers. She leaned closer, her voice gentle and sure. "You are not alone, Grant. Whatever happens next, you have me." For the first time, the faintest ghost of a smile formed on his lips. The monitor continued its steady rhythm, strong and confident. As the music played, the room felt lighter, warmer, no longer a place of waiting, but a place of return. Anna sat with him until dawn, their hands intertwined, both knowing that the world outside would soon demand answers. But for now, in this quiet room filled with soft light and softer music, they had something far stronger than fear. They had a promise. And they had each other. Days passed, and the truth surrounding Grant Ellis' accident unfolded piece by piece. Hospital security tightened the entire VIP wing. Investigators arrived. Dr. Harrison monitored Grant's recovery with new urgency. But through every meeting, every test, and every tense moment, Anna Rivera remained by Grant's side. She was the constant presence he focused on, the calm voice that grounded him, the one person who had walked with him through darkness back into the light. Grant's strength grew steadily. His speech returned in fragile fragments at first, then in short sentences. Each time he spoke Anna's name, her heart lifted in a way she tried hard to hide behind her professional calm. On the evening when he was finally strong enough to sit up for longer periods, Anna helped adjust his pillows and raise the bed slowly. The room glowed warmly from the afternoon sun drifting through the blinds. "Are you comfortable?" she asked softly. "Yes," Grant replied, his voice still rough but certain. "I am better. When you are here." She felt her breath hitch. "I am glad to hear that." He studied her for a long moment, as if gathering the courage to speak the truth he had held inside for too long. "Anna, you stayed with me when I could not move, when I could not speak, when everyone else saw a man who might never wake up. You saw someone worth fighting for." She swallowed hard. "Anyone would have done the same." "No," he said gently. "Not just anyone." She lowered her gaze, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. Her fingers brushed against the edge of his blanket, and he reached out, weak but determined, placing his hand over hers. "Anna," he whispered. "I heard you." Her eyes widened. "You heard me?" "Yes," he said. "Not every word, but enough. Enough to know that your voice was the only thing that made me feel alive. Every time you spoke, I followed the sound. It pulled me back." Tears gathered in her eyes, soft and shimmering. She squeezed his hand tightly. "I just wanted you to know you were not alone. You saved more than my life," he said. "You saved my hope." The room filled with silence, not empty silence, but warm, grateful silence. The kind that holds meaning without needing to be spoken. "Grant," she whispered, "you still have a long recovery ahead of you. There will be therapy and tests and a lot of hard days." He nodded. "Then stay with me, through all of it." Her breath caught again. "Are you sure?" His smile was soft but real, the kind that carried sincerity instead of power. "I have never been more sure of anything. You stood beside me when I had nothing to give. Let me choose you now that I can." Anna felt tears fall freely as she nodded. "I will stay." The jazz melody that had carried him through countless quiet nights drifted gently from the speaker. Grant lifted her hand with effort and pressed it to his chest, right over his heartbeat, steady, strong, alive. "This," he said, voice trembling with emotion, "is because of you." Anna leaned her forehead to his, letting the warmth of the moment settle around them like soft light. "You came back on your own," she whispered. "I was just the voice along the way." He closed his eyes, breathing her in, grounding himself in the one person who never gave up on him. The world outside his room was full of unanswered questions, legal battles, and difficult truths still waiting to surface. But inside this quiet space, in the glow of early evening and soft music, two people found something stronger than fear, stronger than loss, stronger than the past. They found each other. And for the first time since the accident, Grant Ellis felt not just alive, he felt chosen.